Hey guys, so today is what, Vlogmas? I can't remember what number we're up to now, but I'm just checking in with you guys. Today my schedule, I have a couple appointments to go view some houses and stuff. All my houses today, today is a dress down kind of day, boots and stuff, because the houses I'm going to today are not the prettiest. And right now actually I'm waiting because one of my appointments is running late. So what I usually do is I always, this is one of my secrets, I always got my Kindle. So if people are running late, I just start reading. Okay, so today I'm reading. I read a lot. I read on average probably about 50-60 books a year, right? So today I'm reading Jump by Steve Harvey. So this talks about it's like about, you know, like how to achieve your goals and things like that. So far it's pretty good. And I was skimming through the 4-hour work week. Who wrote the 4-hour work week again? Oh yeah, duh. Timothy Ferriss, right? But I actually read this book a long time ago, but since it's on my Kindle, I was just going through it because it's just to like remember stuff sometimes. Like I'll just keep you know, that's a good thing, is that you can kind of like go back and look at it. But so that would be my tip, is, you know, have something to read, or, you know, something. The other thing I'll do while I'm waiting is you know, I'll get on YouTube and stuff, because I love listening to Earl Nightingale, so I'll listen to his stuff while I'm waiting. But usually I read is what I do. So that's my tip for today. Get a book, get a Kindle, something, so that, you know, you're not just sitting waiting and then it's just, you know, empty hours of the day. You know, you can still be productive while you wait. And a lot of times people think that because a house is a bank owned, or because it's foreclosed on, that it's a deal. Like they don't actually do the numbers, like how. And so sometimes people think, as a realtor, I'm gonna come in, oh, it's not that bad, you know, we can do this. I come in and I'm like, this is overpriced. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, and I think people like that, honestly, instead of me coming in, I'm like, this is overpriced, and you know, I can show you why it's overpriced, and you know, let's keep looking. You know, we can find something and that will be, you know, much better for you and your family. But you know, you don't have to overpay. You know, I'm not gonna sit back. You know, it's up to, and ultimately of course it is up to, in this situation, the client. If they want, like I told him, we can put in an offer. It's up to them. But you know, I just tell the truth. I just tell the truth. So yeah, if you want a realtor that will, you know, tell you the truth, call me. Call me, because I will tell you the truth. Okay, so right now I'm headed to look at a foreclosure property, and I anticipate that this property is not going to be in the best condition, because it just came on the market and there are only 2 pictures, so that kind of lets me know, they're like, you need to come and see it, which probably means that it's a mess, but doesn't bother us. So I'm headed there to go check it out, and I figured, let me do a quick video on like how I found this property. So this one, what happens is sometimes, like, people, I want to mention this because sometimes people call me, they say, hey, can you take me to see this property? There's a bank-owned property. So they find like a bank-owned property online, right? Like on Zillow or something like that, and they're like, oh, can you take me to see it? And then I always have to explain to people that just because you see a property on Zillow and it says foreclosed or bank owned, it doesn't mean that the property is for sale. And so majority of the time when people call me to say, hey, can you show me this property, usually when I check, the property is not for sale, because I already have, like, you can set up like auto alerts and MLS to tell you. So you know, I would be surprised, like, not that it never happens, but if someone called me to say, hey, let's go look at a foreclosure that just came on the market, and I had like no idea it was there, like it didn't come up in my alert or something like that. So I just wanted to mention that if you're looking for bank-owned property, or because I have some people that's all they want is like a short sale or and things like that. So I just want to say that when you go on Zillow, because you know everybody's an expert now, they're like, oh, I went on Zillow, I found this property, this is going to be a great deal. I'm like, is it for sale? Because the bank forecloses, but then I guess, you know, there's stuff that they go and do or something, because it doesn't always mean that the property, you know, that they have it already on the market. It has to be like assigned to an REO agent and all that jazz. So it takes a while. But the other thing I wanted to mention about getting bank-owned property is that the bank is trying to get as much money for the property, just like how a homeowner is. So when that property first comes on the market, you know, it's not typically when the bank is going to accept like a really, really low ball offer. So when you see like a property, like I'm going to go see this one, it just came on the market. However, depending on how bad it is, there are people that I know that have loans that are looking, that will be interested to buy it, and there are people that I know that have cash that would be interested to buy it. So the difference with that is people that can use a loan, they can usually pay a higher price, because if the house is in good condition, you can typically use like an FHA regular conventional loan to buy it. If the house is tore up from the floor up, you have to use cash. That's another thing. Sometimes people are pre-approved like for a loan, and they call me and they're like, oh, I found this bank-owned property. I'm like, if the property from the pictures, if I see that it looks really bad, I have to tell them that house is not FHA approved. You can't, you know, use an FHA loan that you're approved for to buy a house that, you know, it's not livable right now, okay? So that's the thing too with that. So when you have cash and the house is in bad condition and it's been sitting on the market for a while, you have way more leverage to come in and get a deal with the bank. So that's why I wanted to mention all those things when people are like, they're looking to buy a foreclosed property and bank owned, that, you know, you got to think about all this other stuff too that equates into actually getting the deal and getting the bank to, you know, approve your offer and things like that, like timing and, you know, all that stuff. If you get with an REO agent, they'll tell you the same thing, that, you know, if the property just came on the market and you come in with a really, really low ball offer, the bank is probably not going to accept it. Especially if the property is in good condition and things like that. So I'm on my way, so I guess I need to pay attention. So I'll probably do a video when I'm coming back from looking at the property, let you know what it was like. I'm pretty sure it's going to be tore up though, because like I said, when you see they only put 2 pictures on that listing, they're hiding something. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't know how clear it shows in the pictures, but it's kind of tore up. Water damage. Water. I told you. Now we have like that one picture. Plan to get to the house, and the house is tore up. Something with water. Let's see, something with water in there. Yeah, because this house is not even that old. Something was going on. Yeah, it needs a lot of work. Hey, so leaving that property real quick, because like I said, I told you all, when you see that the bank puts like 2 pictures, they know that house is a mess. And my client, when we got there, by the time I priced out the repairs and stuff, it was over $100,000 that the house needs. So he's like, I don't really want to do that much work. He's like, we're willing to, you know, if the house isn't perfect and it needs, you know, new carpet and floors and things like that, but I don't really want to, he's like, I don't want to start ripping stuff out that we're spending like $100 grand. So, you know, because that's the thing. You know, I'm not one of those realtors that's like, oh, you know what we could do? You just can put a little, you know, we got in there, I told him, I said, this house is way overpriced. And, you know, and I told him, I explained the process that the bank does. I'm like, usually when the house comes on the market, you know, it's overpriced. I said, by the time we just calculate it out, and I showed him how much, you know, the average, like for, by the time you add renovating all the bathrooms, because that house, all the bathrooms need to be done, the kitchen, the floor, you know, I was like, the outside, the siding, I was like, we added everything up, it was over 100,000. So he was like, no, I don't want to do that much. But he loved the area, loved the lot, love the size of the house. So that helps me to form a list of what he wants, and I'll go from there and, you know, can get him more and show him you know, other properties and stuff. But that's, you know, our lesson for today. But I wanted you to definitely know that REOs work the same way. The bank is trying to get as much money as possible, just like a homeowner. And that's one of the things too, you can still submit an offer and, you know, just put in a low offer and put in the repairs that are needed on the house, and, you know, you can do that. But, you know, in this situation, he was like, man, this house needs a lot of work. So we're gonna keep looking. So that's my tip for today, is always remember, the bank is trying to get as much money as possible, just like when a homeowner is selling their house. Don't sleep on the bank and think that the bank forecloses and they're like, oh, we're just gonna lose money. Oh, no. All right, later. Let me get home to my kitties now. Bye-bye. That was my last appointment for the day. Bye-bye.